Ciao and happy Christmas. I'm in the middle of cooking a glazed pork loin roast, and as a side dish I'm doing some potatoes alla pizzaiola, patate alla pizzaiola, and I thought I'll do a different video because I've got some feedback that sometimes my videos are a bit too long. So if you want to see the recipe for the pork, by all means you can eventually find it by clicking the little card up here, but let's crack on with this recipe. I just scrubbed and washed three potatoes, three medium-sized potatoes, and I left the skin on, but by all means you can remove the skin if you wish. When I can, always leave the skin on because it's full of fibre, and also I think it tastes very nice.
Yes, I prefer it with the skin on.
And I'm doing these about 1 centimeter thick. They'll be cooking in the oven for about half an hour, maybe 35 minutes, so don't want it to be too small either. As I mentioned, this is a side dish, and in Italy it's often made for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or any day of the week. It doesn't have to be Christmas, but it's absolutely wonderful. My oven dish is ready and I'll position my potatoes inside it. The word pizzaiola, by the way, comes from pizza, so I'm using some tomatoes, as often tomatoes are in pizza.
Let's put it like this, tomatoes should always be in pizza.
No, nowadays actually people have
I know,
pizzas
but
without tomatoes. So
we went out for pizza the other night and there were two options and one of them looked delicious until I realised that actually there was no tomato and I'm like, nah.
There you go. Choices. Tomatoes or not tomatoes, in this recipe we have tomatoes, so if I can get hold of them, I'll put them in. Onion next, and you might be thinking, Francesco, why are you using a bread knife to peel your vegetables? Well, I'm a little bit lazy. I always use a bread knife when I slice anything like aubergines or potato because it's safer, but also while I'm at it I'll continue. But you can use any knife, of course. Lazy because I don't like washing too many things up.
And to be fair, a knife is a knife.
Indeed. But with the onion, I'll leave it in fairly chunky pieces like this. Again, think about the fact that they're going to be cooking in the oven for a while, so you want to find your onion at the end. So that can be added as well. Oregano, key ingredients for pizza.
Oregano.
Whatever. And that is a key ingredient also for my potatoes alla pizzaiola, so I will add it as well. And again, the quantity is to taste, but a good amount in my case. I'm going to salt this lot now, which is normally not what I do. That is because this time I want the salt actually to penetrate all of my vegetables while they're cooking. Now, I mentioned that I'm cooking this as a side dish to my glazed pork, and normally I would have used mozzarella. However, the glazed pork is going to be very sweet, and I'm going to use cheddar instead, as it's a little bit more stronger in taste. And this is mature cheddar, so I prefer it in this particular case. But you can also use mozzarella, or you can use Gouda, Edam, anything you like. But I think if you're doing the pork as well, the cheddar is going to be spot on. And I've done a couple of large slices, about 1 centimeter thick, for both Aunt Julie and one for me. There's going to be some leftover, of course. So I've done the salt, followed by some pepper and olive oil. Be quite generous with the oil because that will help the potatoes cook in the oven. And I'm going to be using my hands, as I often do with these things, to mix everything together. Nearly ready to go in the oven, but one last touch is going to be Parmesan cheese, and I'll sprinkle a good amount on top of everything now. And they're ready to go in the oven. My oven is on already because I've got the pork in there cooking. The temperature of my oven at the moment is 190 degrees, so I'll pop them in for about 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes. In any case, it depends how thick you've done your potatoes, until everything is lovely and golden and the potatoes are nice and crunchy. So I'll see you then. And the potatoes are ready, and they have been actually cooling down for about 5 minutes, and they look absolutely delicious.
They smell yummy too.
I've just finished filming another video where I cooked here this pork loin, which is glazed, and I will be posting this video before the potatoes, and you will find by the time the potatoes are on, if you click on this link here, you will see the recipe for the pork as well. We're eating them together, but I've done two separate videos because you might not necessarily want to do them together, but also makes the video a little bit smaller or short I should say. So I'll try the potatoes and see what they're like now. But just for your information, we just tried the pork and it was absolutely delightful.
It was lovely.
So first of all, look at that. See, the onions, they all stayed whole, and you can see that also the tomatoes are perfectly still in one piece, which is ideal. But let's pinch a little tomato there and give it a go. Really nice, moist and full of flavor. And definitely, I mentioned about the cheese, the cheddar cheese I used is perfect. If you make it, try with cheddar for once, rather than mozzarella. Delizioso. Arrivederci and grazie. Ciao ciao.